He's the popular co-host on the popular program called First Things First on Fox Sports 1. He's Nick Wright, Kansas City Chiefs apologist, joining us on the program. Before I get
what do I have to apologize for? I'm just curious. What's the apologizing for?
Only on Monday. That's the only time you have to apologize. You don't have to worry about anything right now, Nick, okay?
Okay.
Don't you worry about anything.
Okay.
Nick's going to tell you why the Chiefs will win by at least 14 points. Before I get to the Super Bowl, the NBA All-Star Game, I'm trying to understand that why is the NBA pushing for this, and why are the players pushing back so much, and how do you think this gets settled next month?
Well, 18 hours ago, I would have said the game's unquestionably going to happen. And then LeBron broke ranks. LeBron spoke out against it, and it is very interesting when LeBron obviously can talk to Adam Silver, he can talk to Michelle Roberts, he can talk to his good friend Chris Paul. And the fact that LeBron spoke out against it so publicly, to me, puts the game somewhat in peril. I can't, you know how much I love the league. I wish I could do some more official stuff with the league. I don't understand why the league is pushing for this other than obviously the dollars and the television partners want it. And I know that other than is a huge part of it. It's what makes the sport go. But how much money really is gained from an all-star weekend? And are you being, as my now deceased grandfather would say, penny wise and pound foolish? Like, are you grabbing a few extra dollars at the expense of other things? I think LeBron doesn't want it, particularly because he had the shortest offseason ever, and he wanted the week off. And if the game is held, LeBron feels he has to participate, especially because fans are going to vote him in. And so it's a weird spot, but I think the game is in peril, Dan.
Yeah, LeBron said, look, I'll be there physically, but not mentally. I found it interesting that De'Aaron Fox, who's having a really good year for Sacramento, said, I don't want to go. I think this is stupid to go. And he hasn't been an all-star before. So it's not just LeBron. You got players who would really benefit from being on that stage for that weekend.
The Fox thing is a great one to pull because A, he's not guaranteed to be an all-star. B, making the all-star team as a guard in the West opened up a bit now that Harden's gone. But there's a lot of really good players who've never made it. And so you would think, especially a guy that young, and I smile, De'Aaron Fox used to play AAU ball against my son in Houston. And I watched him once score 38 points in the first half of a running clock 20-minute game. And every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, that's the same guy. And for him to even say, no, what's the point is fascinating because you would think he's young, he might feel a little invincible, and it's such a great opportunity. And even he's like, I don't know that I would want to be a part of it.
He's Nick Wright. He had an issue with the picture we used the last time that he was on. He doesn't even follow our show on Twitter or Instagram. He follows over 1,000 accounts on Twitter, and not one of them is the Dan Patrick Show. Some friend.
Okay, I just fixed it. Sorry.
Some friend Nick is.
Sorry, I follow you on Twitter, don't I? Do I not?
Well, that'd be the show. I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, well then I follow an imposter. They have the imposters got better takes than you. You got to have them taken down. Copyright infringement. But I'm following the show now. My bad.
Hey, don't be mad towards me that you didn't do something that would be considered maybe a friend of the show. So,
okay,
like you're kind of casting aspersions towards another direction.
It's taken care of.
Okay, I'm just saying. All right, here we go. All right, so how do the Buccaneers win this game?
2 strip sacks. That's the starting place. And I know like everyone's talking about this at this point. Chiefs offensive line is banged up. But everyone is saying they're down 2 starting tackles. That's true, but it's misleading. One of those tackles has been out since week 5. So they've been playing without him for the last 3 months. The other tackle, though, Eric Fisher, went out last week, which therefore, of course, made the guy who was filling in for the right tackle slid over the left-hand side. And the reason that's so concerning is it's the last time Mike Rimmers was in the Super Bowl. He was Cam Newton's right tackle, and Von Miller won the Super Bowl MVP going right through Mike Rimmers. Now, Mike Rimmers has played well, and people are like, oh, the Chiefs had an offensive lineman opt out before the year. Yeah, but they went 14-1 with Mahomes without that guy. Like, the offensive line's been banged up all year, and they just went 38-6 on Buffalo. the distinction is how much does the loss of Eric Fisher matter? I've got to think the Chiefs know that, and they scheme with that in mind. And while the Bucs defense, I made this point this morning, the Bucs defense has gone from being underrated, not talked about enough, to now all of a sudden they are being presented as if they are the modern purple people eaters. They are not that. And so I don't think, though, there is a path for Tampa to win the game that doesn't involve a couple strip sacks on Mahomes. He's not going to throw interceptions, and the Chiefs aren't going to turn the ball over, in other phases, I don't think. So I think the Chiefs are a demonstrably better team. I think they could have won the first matchup by 30 points had that been the focus, and I think you're going to see that Sunday.
Can Brady outduel Patrick Mahomes?
He can, but I'd say it's a 15% shot. I mean, listen, I'm going to have to eat a lot of crow on Brady. I was evidently years premature on calling for his demise, and he didn't play well a couple weeks ago in the second half, but he played great the final month of the season. He has outlasted these older other quarterbacks who keep retiring or playing like they should retire, and he's still standing. I do think the only chance the Bucs have is to win a shootout. I've heard for 3 years, here's how you beat the Chiefs. Run the ball, time of possession, keep Mahomes off the field. One team ever has done it. The Colts on October 6th, 2019. In a game Tyreek Hill didn't play and Mahomes had a sprained ankle. They won 19-13. Think of every other Chiefs loss. They've lost because the other team scored 40. The Raiders scored 40 this year. The Patriots, when they beat them in the playoffs, scored, 38, 39? The famous Monday night game, 54-51. The Chiefs, when they lose, it's because you beat them in a shootout. It's not because you hold them to 15.
Is Tampa capable of putting 40, 45 up against this Chiefs defense?
I think it's possible. They obviously have the great weapons, and they have a very good offensive line, 3 excellent offensive linemen, 1 decent one, and then 1 replacement guy who Chris Jones is going to be going at the whole game. And the Chiefs don't have good corners. They have this rookie gem that they found in the 4th round, L'Jarius Sneed, and Honey Badger. They have good safeties, but they don't have good corners. I am curious. Here's a fun little stat courtesy of, I think, Football Outsiders. The Tampa Bay Bucs this year were the beneficiaries of more yards via pass interference penalty than any team in the last 12 seasons, and that's as far back as the metric goes. Now, I'm not saying that Tom Brady happens to get the benefit of a lot of calls, including in the NFC Championship.
Yes, you
game.
are.
I wouldn't say that.
Yes, you are.
I'm just giving you the facts,
When
Dan.
you say I'm not
facts on the
saying,
ground.
Nick, you're saying when you say you're not saying.
I'm not saying it. If I was saying it, I wouldn't say I'm not saying it. I am curious, though. I think a tightly officiated game favors Tampa. I think if you officiate the Super Bowl the way these playoffs have been officiated, which is we're going to let them play except for, of course, the final play of the NFC Championship game, in which case there'll be an 8-second late flag to help Brady. Then I think if they call it tight, I think Tampa can move the ball down the field. I got one other good stat for you. Okay. Tampa scored 10 touchdowns this postseason. 0 have gone 75 drives of 75 yards or longer. The Chiefs scored 7 touchdowns this postseason. 6 have gone drives of 75 yards or longer. So they're not scoring on long fields, is Tampa. And so I think that could work against them in this game.
Where are you watching the game?
My home, by myself.
By yourself?
My children might be allowed to join me. I can't watch with people. What are you talking about? I'm
the same way. That's why the fact that Dr. Fauci said, you can't have Super Bowl parties. I'm the happiest guy in the building. I'm like, great.
Yeah, first of all, in our business, we're going to have to talk about this game for anywhere from 1 week to 5 years. So I kind of want to focus. I want to drill down on it. Second of all, I made the mistake last year of having 2 friends over to the house for the Super Bowl. And one of them had like a $50 bet on the Niners and was rooting for it like his life was on the line. And I haven't spoken to him since. I'll never forgive him for it.
The amazing part of that is you had 2 friends, and I would have taken the under. I would have. I put Nick Wright's friends at 1.5. Yeah. So
Let me unfollow the show on Twitter real quick. Chiefs are going to win by 2 scores, Dan.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right.
You can make some money on that.
I don't gamble. I gambled by having you on, and that's enough.
Okay. Well, for the audience, for the Danettes, go make some money.
All right. If the Chiefs lose Monday, then what time you want to come on?
Oh. Whenever you want. Dan, I'll be here for you. That's what friends do. But a better question would be this, because when the Chiefs win Sunday, what's the reciprocity here? What are we doing? Are you going to you're going to replace one of those patches with a picture of me? What are we going to do?
How about I'll do something I never do? I'll watch your show.
Oh, you know what? That was rude.
Well,
that was uncalled for.
And
that does nothing for me.
I thought we went to commercial break. My bad. We're still on, Paulie?
Sorry about that.
Oh. I apologize for that, Nick. That was mean-spirited. It was mean-spirited.
If the only way I'm coming on is if the Chiefs lose, then I guess I'll talk to you sometime in 2023, Dan.
I want you to have a great weekend and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Bye.
That's Nick Wright, co-host of First Things First on Fox Sports.